Hi, losing weight, ripping wine on there. Hope you enjoyed the latest exercise video. Um, and that should hopefully contain a piece of tonight's rip from Let's Dance album. So I'm going to go through what I've ripped since the last album I ripped, and I started to introduce you to my Bowie collection. And so then I continued on to The Man Who Sold the World. This is my copy. The copy I was brought up with was from my oldest brother who owned it, and he had the cover on that with a cartoon cover on it, and that's always been the way I saw that cover for this album. So apparently it's quite rare, but so I couldn't find any copy of that one for myself, so I had to deal with this. But the music is just as good. This ties together, I think, with a kind of a period with the earlier albums of Hunky Dory, Space Oddity, and I think this musically is the best one of them, even though Space Oddity was a much more important album for me since it was my first in the collection, and it has such a huge impact for me then. But there are more good songs, I think, on this one. At least that it's kind of the types of harmonies and stuff he does in the more experimental stuff that really spoke to me and still speaks to me. And all of these albums are just as good today as it was when I was a little child, actually. So that's unusual because I have some records from my younger years that are really, really bad. Does not stand up to time. So that was that. Then Ziggy Stardust. This album speaks for itself. Actually, when it comes to hits and everything like that, it is a fantastic album for many reasons. However, from this period, I actually think the tie-in album Aladdin Sane, which contains a lot of songs he used on the tour for Ziggy Stardust. It's like compliment the song Time on Aladdin Sane is fantastic. It's one of his best songs ever. And this is, to me, a bit uneven. The best songs are top-notch, and there are some not so good ones that hasn't stood to it. I actually have 2 copies. Probably played. I recorded the one that was clearly the better press and not so used. This is my original copy from my younger years of Aladdin Sane, and it's a fantastic album from that period. And it's kind of like if Ziggy Stardust was Hunky Dory from the Ziggy period, and Aladdin Sane maybe was the Space Oddity when it came to developing the style he was doing at that period. So to me, and of course then Diamond Dogs would be the Man Who Sold the World of that period. And Diamond Dogs is maybe the one album that I think is his best, David Bowie's best album, according to me. It's fantastic. Every single song is fantastic even a really strange one. Is important. This is maybe the one I had started learning English. We do that from basically first grade in Sweden. So and it was the first one I really learned the lyrics and learned English with, and sang along and kind of understood what it was about, although some subject matters was foreign to me at that age. So then he decided to do a cover album, and this one is actually fantastic too. Every single cover he shows on this one was really thought through, I think, and he did very good. See Emily Play is fantastic. Here Comes the Night, Friday on My Mind, Sorrow, everything is top notch. Congrats, David Bowie. Now, the less nice thing. David Bowie, Young Americans. My memory of this album was quite good, but then I walked out to it yesterday, and it starts out with the Young American song. It's a K song, and so I thought, oh, okay, this would be good, and then it's just crap right through onto the last song, which is Fame. I didn't like that much either at the time. It has grown on me over the years, but it's those two songs. The rest is completely not like the Young Americans and Fame, actually. It's like the two best songs from Young Americans should have been paired together with the two best from the next album. Scary Monsters. This is also a very strange album in that this starts out. It's experimental, which I should like, but it's experimental in a way that makes no sense to me. And then after 3 songs, where Scary Monsters and Super Creeps maybe has a little pinch of sense to it, and then Ashes to Ashes and Fashion in order on the first side, and those 2 songs is completely different from all the other songs on this album, and it's more like the good songs from the Young Americans album, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Actually, he probably for the time didn't only had those good, and experimented wildly on the other stuff. If it weren't for Ashes to Ashes and Fashion, this would be pure crap, actually. So David Bowie, he felt that I never liked at the time the albums Heroes and Load, for example, and but those has grown to me, so I have those on CD, but not on vinyl. So oh well. So we come to the albums that I exercised through tonight, and Let's Dance, which kind of in my memory is well, Dance Bowie or whatever, but it was a lot better than I remember. I actually enjoyed listening through it to the exercise tonight. It was and I got remembered by that. Like Ricochet, it's a really good song. I really like that one, even though it's a dance song and not prog metal. Then a little less good tonight. Neighborhood Threat. I like that song. It's the first on the second side, and after the first side, it came as a refreshing thing actually, and even though it was the fourth side, I was still walking on the treadmill because I hadn't reached the 60 minutes yet. So, well, that was nice. But the others it's not very bad, but like Scary Monsters stuff and that. But it's not, except for Neighborhood Threat, not much actually. But so that was my concluding Bowie review. I thought I should tell also that from this point I will go back to A alphabetically a little bit, because I decided that I have a lot of albums from my brothers, my older brothers, and those records is also a very big part of me growing up and the music I grew up with. So even though especially the middle brother Ove's collection includes some really odd albums, I even have a few albums from my mother and father. So well, I will go back. I've sorted all those albums from my brothers and my family actually, and I will rip in alphabetically with those albums from now on. That means, for example, I will rip a lot of more of Mike Batt, for example, and Barclay Ames Harvest. I have a lot more, and a few artists that are good that me personally never bought any, like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and stuff like that. So we'll actually see me reviewing ABBA, which I never bought into at the time. Later I bought them on CD, so now I will rip a few albums too. So, well, that's that for the review. And now I'm going to try to edit the exercise. Goodbye, see you next time.